Okay, friends, let's dig right into steps 10, 11, and 12. We've made it up through steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've learned a lot about ourselves by this point. If you spend time doing an inventory of yourselves, if you're spending time developing a closer relationship with your higher power, you've come a long way. And in fact, you could almost stop there. But as you know, this is a 12-step program. We have to work all 12 steps, and we continue on step 10. They call step 10 and 11 and 12 the maintenance part of the program. It's like anything else. You can fix a car, but if you don't keep it maintained, you're going to be right off the side of the road again. So let's see what we have to do to maintain our recovery. It says in step 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Now, if you're familiar with the 12 steps themselves, when it says continue to take personal inventory, that's also in step 4 and 5. And when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. That's step 8 and 9. And as we've learned, the only way to do step 4 and 5 and 8 and 9 is to turn to our higher power to help us. Step 10 is a maintenance. We'll learn that this is actually continue to take personal inventory, and when we're wrong, promptly admit it, simply means in the plan of action for the man in recovery to continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. Wow, I'm not looking for an open internet anymore. I'm starting to look for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. That's how I maintain my sobriety. Let's look at step number 11. Step number 11 says, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for the knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. Now, I love this step, my friends. I mean, it is so easily misunderstood. And I didn't know much about a relationship with God to begin with. And now Bill Wilson is putting me up to this task to continue to use prayer and meditation. Excuse me, I said medication, didn't I? In order to use prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God. Well, what does that mean? I think we all know what prayer is and we know what meditation is, but a lot of us don't realize how easy it is to do that. Just simply being in traffic that's jammed right now and say, oh God, please, don't let me get angry with this traffic. That's a prayer. Or when I'm at my office and I'm like exhausted, I'm starting to feel resentment. All I have to do is just take a deep breath. That's a form of meditation. And when we do that, we can improve our conscious contact with God. All we have to do is ask a simple question. In any kind of trouble, when we're in any kind of pickle, and we don't know where it came from, why it's happening, we ask these two questions. Who brought this to me? And what do you want from me now? Who brought this to me always has the same answer. God. God brings me everything, brings everybody everything. God is everything. Who brought this to me? God. And what do you want from me now? With a capital Y, what do you want from me now? I promise you that if you try this simple exercise, you will improve your conscious contact with God, but more than that, you will get an answer. That's the meditation. That's the prayer. Who brought this to me, and what do you want from me now? I promise you, if you try that, you take a deep breath, you close your eyes, the answer will always come. And I guarantee you, you'll never get an answer that says, get angry, get even, call an ambulance. You won't even get an answer that says, what do you want from me now? That says, go look at pornography. That's never been the answer to any of my problems, and it ain't now. All right. Further, it says, praying only for the knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. Now I've never done that. What does this mean? Praying only for the knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. Before, my relationship with God was one in which I would say, God, please let me close this business deal. God, my back hurts. Can you heal me, please? God, This whole world is messed up and my kids are so crazy. Can you please take care of them? God, I got at home a bitchin' wife and she's driving me crazy. Please take care of her. God, I don't have enough money this month to pay the rent. Please take care of that. So what's my relationship with God? And that's been my relationship with God for a long time. And that is, I've turned God into my errand boy. That's right, God's my errand boy. What step number 11 demands of us is that we pray only for the knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. Now I'm out at a place where it isn't the God that's serving me, like the old David see. Now I'm at a place where I say, how can I serve you? What do you want from me now, God? And I've become God's servant. That's a total brand new relationship with God. And the power to carry that out, God, I need good health. I need some money in the bank, God, so I can do your will. That's the power of step 11. We'll look at step number 12, the last step on page 60 of the 12 steps. And it says, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to pornaholics and practice these principles in all our affairs. Now, for those of you who've had the opportunity to be a father, I think you know, or maybe you've been a school teacher, and whatever you've been in a position where you get to teach somebody something, I believe you agree with me that when we teach someone something, we actually learn that topic better. Step number 12 comes along and it gives us the answer. How are we going to stay sober? How are we going to reinforce what we've learned in step number 1 through 11? This is it, step number 12. Two things are happening here. I'm helping someone else so they can recover, and they're helping me because I'm learning the extent of this program. It's reinforcing the program in me. It ends saying, in step number 12, it ends saying, in all our affairs. That means that I'm not just practicing these principles of step 1 through 10 at this stage, just in order to become free of my disease. It means that I'm using all these steps so I can be a calm person. I can have peace in my life, and I can treat others better. I can make better decisions. I can feel more relaxed when I have a business issue because I'm practicing these principles in all our affairs. Those are the 12 steps. And it concludes here in the description of the 12 steps by saying on page 60, many of us exclaimed, "What an order! I can't go through with this." Bill says, don't be discouraged. No one amongst us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. The point is that we are willing to grow along spiritual lines. These principles we have set down are guidelines to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. In our circles, it's about progress, not perfection. We're not expecting perfection. Bill Wilson wasn't perfect himself. David C. is not perfect himself. Nobody that I've met in this program has perfect adherence to all these steps. We just have to be willing to grow in these respects. Willingness, not self-will, but getting close to God, asking Him for the willpower in order to carry out these steps. And once you do, not only will you have sobriety, you'll have complete and total freedom in all areas of your life. And we'll end this particular subject by pointing out one other major aspect of the 12 steps, the entire 12 steps. I know that if I was given the task to write a program of recovery for people with porn addiction, and I had to write 12 steps, how many of those 12 steps do you think I would refer to pornography? 5? 8? Maybe every step should talk about pornography? Look back on page 59 at all the 12 steps. How many times does it say the word alcohol for the alcoholic? Once. And in fact, it's in 1/2 of step number 1. That means that the drug of choice that we're trying to battle, that brought us here to this program, is only addressed in 1/24 of all 12 steps. That, my friends, is very, very revealing. That also reinforces what we've been saying all along, that pornography, drugs, alcohol, whatever our drug of choice is, that's not our problem. But the solution is a spiritual one. Join me now. I'm sure you'll see success too.